Hey, good morning. I just got done taking a shower on the beach, and on the Eckhart Tolle book, A New World, A New Earth. I'm at this point where he's talking about the pain body, and it's pretty interesting. So the pain body is like, for what I understand, it's the ego in a sense, but it's the ego reacting to like trauma responses or negative thoughts. So these responses that are like negative and these thoughts that are bad feeds the pain body, and the pain body, if it's not active, I don't know, it looks for opportunities to like be active, or I guess send you spiraling down into like more of those negative thoughts or behaviors. So these actions are due to I guess memory from like things in the past that you know bothered you, or gave you trauma, and now your body or your actions are triggered by things that remind you of that in the present, and then that activates the pain body. Another thing, I thought Eckhart Tolle was like, when, like, I don't know, I read it or I listen to it, and then I realize it is pretty modern new age work. But then originally, because of the name Eckhart Tolle, I was thinking he was somebody from maybe the 1920s or something, like someone in the past, like the end of the 1800s or whatever, into the 1920s. But he's pretty new, he's pretty modern. I looked up some videos about the pain body to like better understand the idea of it, and I think a lot of people call it different things, like trauma response or something like that, and um, you're like I don't know, yeah. So yeah, I guess trauma. His is pain body is what he calls it. So I was thinking maybe it was another, like a wider concept, which it is, but I guess he names his as pain body. So one thing in the book he pointed out, like he had a patient, and I forget what he did with the patient, but it kind of healed the person for the day, and then he went out to eat at a restaurant, and he felt like that pain body energy had moved into another person who was at the restaurant he was at, and they reacted in a way that just was like trying to, he didn't like his food, so he took it out on the waiter, and then he left the restaurant, but then came back and continued to like try to fight the people at the restaurant, like the owner or the manager and the waiter, and all the customers. And Eckhart Tolle believed that that was the pain body, like energy or like essence that traveled from his patient to this person. I don't know. Like, that's how I understood it. And I was like thinking, like, have I ever seen anything like that in my life? And the only thing I could think is I might have a already like constructed idea of something, and sometimes it's like fulfilled. Like, people will do what I think what they're gonna do, or things are gonna turn out the way I believe it's gonna turn out, and something gives me the feeling that that happened only because I was thinking that was gonna happen, or almost like maybe my energy was like created that that incident or something. I don't know if if there's any proof in that, but that's the feelings I have sometimes when some bad stuff goes down. I'm like, I already felt like it was gonna happen, but I was like, I also was making that feeling inside of me. So is it my fault? And then he also talked about the pain body, almost like ontology, or I think it's epigenetics. I don't know, when the pain is inside your DNA, like, and people are talking about that a lot right now, dealing with like Holocaust survivors and people who are descendants from slavery. And some people would like to say it's not true, and some people say it is true for certain people for some reason, but it's not true for other people. Let me see. I thought someone said my name, but yeah, I can see that like being true. I feel like as a child, I came into the world so fresh and like unaware, but I think it's like as I grew older and started to like see things, it's more how I became more like that, created more of my pain body, because I didn't really. I could be wrong, but I that's how I feel. I feel like as I grew up and my parents guided me a certain way, society and people's already perceived notion of who I was, like, created things. But yeah, because my outlook as a kid was just love and light. And then, like, I was a little mischievous and I liked getting into mischief, and was curious, and that also, like, got me into stuff. But then as an adult, it's just more like things like I have to operate in a way where have to kind of figure out who people are, certain environments and situations, and people, like, even leaving out of high school, I was a little, so optimistic, and I was like, if I'm nice to people, people will be nice to me, and then getting into the real world and realizing that that's not how it is. Like, people are out to do you harm, and then people are dealing with their own trauma, and then they like mess up your life because of their trauma, but then you probably are compatible with the person because you have similar trauma, or you have a trauma that wants to mingle with their trauma. But again, there was a lot of things that I feel like my parents tried to prepare me for, but I didn't really believe them or see it like they were explaining it until I became an adult myself, and then I was able to see things for myself. And then just as older I get, the more I see things, and it makes me very distrustful, as much as I try to be optimistic. And I don't know if you could put all that blame on the person's like pain body, or the librarian walked up and then she was like, oh, what do you, because I drew a picture and I'll post it, and I was like, yeah, I was just listening to Eckhart Tolle, and I was just trying to like understand the pain body, like the idea of this pain body, because I had went over the chapter that was in a little bit, twice, like, I kind of kept going back trying to rehear what he was talking about, and she was pointing out like you could choose to be happy despite the trauma you're going through. And I didn't want to discount that, but I was just listening to another person's video on here, and they were saying, yeah, everybody goes through things, and some things do seem greater than others, but your circumstances, I feel like, create what is big to you. So if like losing your job might be a big thing, and then you go do something crazy because you lost your job, you can't just say, like, especially after the person does the crazy thing, that, oh, it wasn't really that big of a deal, but evidently it was a big deal to them. So you gotta put all that in consideration. Even though you could look at another person's life and be like, well, they got it worse, but just because you can see that or say that, is that really how you're feeling? Like, no, like so. And I think it's a certain type of person who could just look at certain things and like assess it and like pick it apart and stuff. Not everybody's willing to do that. Not everybody's like interested in that, and that's kind of a shame, but it is what it is. And then some people are they believe so deeply in what they believe that they wouldn't even consider dissecting anything that's giving them some type of distress that might not really be their fault, and might not consider alternative ideas of how to correct it, because it's not the mainstream idea of how you go about dealing with certain things, dealing with, like, you know, financial or like a loss of job, or, you know, relationships and stuff like that. So yeah, and not to discount the pain body, but I'm like, yeah, I mean, I think it can be helpful if you're that type of person who does that type of introspection. But yeah, some people, they don't want to hear that, and then they believe, like, you know, God will fix it, or them just working really hard will fix their situation, and for some people, they don't really I don't know, like I think some people are content with like certain things. It's hard, you know, if they can't put themselves in that, you know, headspace. I don't know, I'm not quite sure what I'm trying to say, but some people, I feel like, are happy in life, but I don't know, maybe not, I don't know. But anyway, have a great day today. Maybe this is 10 minutes.